In this tutorial, I will show you how to select data. In order to select data from the database with PHP, I am going to write some select query. You see that this is the basic query to select anything from the database. For example, select all. This star mark means all. So select all from table name. This is one query. Select column names from table name. You can also give like this. I am going to show you this, okay, so you will understand. So this is select on from students. This is the example. Just I write here a DB connection code with PDO, okay. So using the PDO, I connect the MySQL with my PHP. Here is the code. My database name is this and localhost another name is this, okay. So I am going to write a code. Sorry. For example, this is actually a code. I am going, for example, to give a variable name here, Q. So I am going to select all from which table? Students table, okay. So I am going to call something like that. From the students table, I will select everything. So this is my simple basic query to get all the data from the students, okay. So this is the thing, only simple 3 lines to get all the data, okay. But in order to represent that data, I am going to write one thing, that is the PD format. I just write echo PD tag and echo PD end PD tag, and here the value that I am going to use the fetch all. So remember that first what is going to be happened here, this is the object of my database connection, and using this I use a prepare statement. So here I call select all from students, and the execute method will now execute this and then fetch all the data from the database. And inside you see that here I use PDO fetch ASOC. I will discuss about this later, but for example, now let's check what is happened. Here all the data will be returned into my result variable. Here I am going to show you one thing. If I now run it, you will see that all the data is coming here in a good format. ID, first name, last name, email, phone. So for all the row, you see that this was my database table, and here in each row what information I am going to get: ID, first name, last name, email, phone. So row wise it is going to give me the information. 0 means 0 index, as this is I am going to get it as an array, so I use the 0 index, okay. So 0 index array, and this way, this way, this way. So I get all the data like this. So this is the use. I used here fetch ASOC. I could use here fetch num. What will happen? If you refresh, you see that this is a numeric type array. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here this is a numeric array. This array is numeric array. This array is numeric array. So NUM means numeric array. But what was ASOC? ASOC means associative array. So in short, PHP tells me tell me to use this one. So if you use PDO, you can just use this PDO fetch ASOC. Now you see the change. What is going to be changed? If I refresh, you see that instead of index, I see the key. This is the key and this is the value. So as it is an associative array because I assigned a key here instead of index. So in the array lecture, I actually told everything about that, about the associative array and numeric array. So that thing is used here. So this is a basic example. If you want that, you want to print the result in a very good format, for example in a table format, you can easily do that. For example, I am going to close the database connection here, and here I call a HTML, for example a table. So tr td and tr, for example. So I use a table tag in the beginning, or here in the same in this position I can also use like this echo, and I call the table tag into beginning, and into the end, for example, my loop will be started from here. So here I call the table start tag, and here the table end tag, and then I am going to call the tr. So into the tr I am going to give the table headings. So what will be the first heading? You see that here the data is first name, last name, email, phone. You can also show the id, is depend on you. So id, and then first name, last name, email, phone. So here this will be first name, then it will be last name, then it will be email, and last one will be phone. So this is the table tag, and here inside I will just use the result as a for each loop. I will call here for each result as row, and here I can show all the data. So it will be actually a table row. So tr I am going to use, and in the end I am going to use end tr. Inside it will be actually td. So td will be started and td will be ended. So here first one will be id. So I will pull the data like row of id. Okay, so like this. So total 5 items I will go to get here. So id, first name, then there is last name. In my database field name will be here, this will be email, and this will be phone. Now if I refresh, what will happen? It is coming in a good table format, right? You can style the table or do any other thing if you want, so that's up to you. So this is a very good format. It is showing id, first name, last name, email, and phone, and you see all the data is coming here from this table. So in this way you can show all the data. If you want to show this like this, row of 0, row of 1, that means the column index, right? Row of 4, what will happen? It is showing then undefined array key, because this is a associative array. If I give here num, then you will see the data in good format. But if you use the assoc, you cannot use this like this array index type. You will have to give the key value. So I hope you have understood this, how I retype the data from the database. So select all from students. You can specify some column name when you will go to select any information. For example, I want to retrieve only first name and email. Last name and phone I do not need, first name and email. So in order to minimize the query time and all other optimization, you can easily give here only first name. Then from the database only first name will be called, first name and email. In this case, if you want to try to show the first name, it will show an error. You see that undefined key not found. That means you cannot now call this one. If you want to show the id, you also have to give here id. So id, first name, email. So the last name I am going to remove, and phone I am going to remove. So from here last name and the phone number will be removed. Now if I refresh, you will see that I am going to show you the first name and email from this table. So that is written here, that instead of all I can specify the column name. Okay, so this is actually the select query. I also have given an example here, so that face assoc, what it will do, it will return it as a key value pair. Okay, so key value, and if you use the face num, then it will be used actually face num here, and from this table I will get the data in the index format 0, 1. So in this way there are some other things. I am not going to run it with my code. I am just going to show you. You can just run it and practice it. So another one is face column. What it is, this is very important. You see that, consider this table that is showing here. So first name, last name, email, phone, city. So this can be a bit different that I have. So it will not mess actually with it. So do not need to check that. You just check this table. Okay, so in this table there are total 1 3 5 6 7 8 9. These are the IDs: first name, last name, email, phone, and city. These are the fields here. Now instead of face Ashok or face Nam, if I use the face column, what will be happen? So here if a person wants to check, you see that in this table there is a column city name. If I want to get all the city names, right, Khulna, Dhaka, Khulna, Chittagong, Borishal, Khulna, Dhaka, only the city column I need. Here you see that no other things are here. When I showed you this one in case of face Ashok, you see that each row was into an array index, and that means each row is an array element, and into each row there are some fields, and those are another array element, right? But here what you see, face column, here you see only one numeric, that means one dimensional normal a straight array you see here, and here it tells that get plain on dimensional array. And the first column from the select items, first one will be faced. You see that here I run a query, select city, first name from students. That means from here the first column, you can give here multiple columns, for example city, last name, etc. But only the first column will be picked up from here, and you will see the first column has been written by city. So from the students table, it will take only the first column. That means it will take only the city, and all city will be put into a normal one dimensional array, and that will be the output of this. So I hope you have understood face column, but I can show you in this way, not in this way. I am going to show you in this way. You see that here this is the all the information, but I give here, I want to get the email, for example. Then if I use face column, what will be happen? As I did not give any other thing, so all the email comes here and as a one dimensional normal array. If you give other things here, email, then first name, then last name, those will not work because only the first column will be faced. If you refresh, you will see that only the first column, that is here email, is going to get. Now if I give the first name first and email after that, what will be faced? Only the first name will be faced from this. So if I refresh, you see that only the first names come. So in this way, if you need for any reason any particular column all data from the table, then you can use this face column query, and this will make your work easier. Next, I am going to get another important query, that is face group. Face group actually do the thing that actually works as a group. That means if you look at the output, you see that this is the table, first name, last name, email, phone, city. Output is, it takes the city as a main key. So it takes city, and under the city it is going to show all the row. It is going to get the next city, and under that city it will show row like this. So you see this is Khulna. So all the users, you see that here under Khulna there is Smith, another one is Ricardo, another one is Marui. So it takes Smith, Ricardo and Marui first under one city. Then under another city it will take, that means Dhaka. So Dhaka, under Dhaka, that is this one and this one, Peter and Fietta. So that will be shown. Then it will take another one, Chittagong, there is only one user, and Borishal, there is only one user. So in this way, city wise, all the data will be pulled from the database. Why? Because you see that here I use select city, first name, last name, phone, and here I use face group. So how it works, this group, this mode groups the return rows into a nested array. You see that this is actually a nested array, right? Into array, nested array. So it is easy to understand, where indexes will be unique values from the first column. First column means you give the name city, so it is grouped as city wise. You see that under one city all users will come, under another city another users will come. That means it is grouped by the city name, because city is written as the first column, so that is written here. And values will be arrays similar to on returns by regular face all. That means the values you see come both index and key. First name is Smith, on is Smith. That means this is index, this is key. So index and key wise all the information is coming here. So just practice it by your own. Another one is face group, a pipe symbol, then PDO face column. You see that into the face all I use the parameter PDO face group, PDO face column. What will it do? This one groups the first column with all values from the second column. That means simply the city it will take from here. You see that this is the city, and the second column is important here. Only two items, that means city column, first name column. I wrote other two columns here, but those will not work here. Only two columns are needed here. One is city, another is first name. That means first column, second column. First column wise information you will get here. So from Khulna you will get only the second column items, Smith, Ricardo, Mario. That means first name will be taken. If I go previously back, you see that under Khulna I get all the things of a row, first name, last name, phone. But here what is happening? Now what is happening? Under the city only the first name will come. Under this city only first name will come. Under this city only the first name of a person will come. This city only the first name will come. So in this way you can make your work very easier. I am going to open another one, and you see that this is face both. Face both means retrieve data from a database query, associative array and numeric array. That means what I did in the case of here when I called the face Ashok and face Nam, you saw that it was working, and both the things will come here. You see that first name is Smith, city, Khulna. Okay, so first name and city, because here I write first name and city. If you give here all, so all the things will come, but I only retrieve first name and city. So coming first name and city, but key and index both are coming. So you can call it into here by key or index. If you call here row of first name, it will come, or if you call here row of one, it will also come. The output will also come without any error. That means both will work here, associative array and numeric array. Now I am going to the next slide, and this is distinct extension statement. I am going just to show you, not going to describe, not going to code it practically. You see that it is used to return only distinct values. Distinct values means, for example, in this example, there are city, Khulna, there are two persons under Khulna, right? Smith and Ricardo. So city, distinct means I will call like this, select distinct, into the parenthesis you will have to give the column name. When you will give the column name, that means that from this table you will get all this city, but distinct city, not city. If you give here like this, select city, so all city will come. And if a city comes multiple times, that will come multiple times. You will see all the output like this, same to same. But when you use distinct city, you see that Khulna is used here one time, two time, three time, but it will only show Khulna one time. You see that in this result array only one time Khulna. Dhaka is used 2 times. You see that one time it is coming. Chittagong one time, Chittagong one, Borishal one time. So that means you will get the unique distinct cities from this table that are used here if you use the distinct. And here you can use face, name or effect, that is not important. So main thing is distinct. Next is mean and max functions. The select mean returns actually the smallest value for a column and max returns the largest value for a column. So you see that in this table I added a new column, that is age. So each person has a age. This person age is 30, this person 40, in this way. But here if you use the max, for example select max age as younger person from students, that means remember that when you will use any type of this type of function, that is max, so max age means the age you will have to give as the parameter of max. That means from all the ages it will take the largest number, which is 60. Okay, but when you will use max age, then you will have to call as, and their complete name you will have to rename by younger person. I give it according to my wish. I can give here any value I want, because max age will be changed as younger person. That means this will be actually the result, because you are going to get max age. This age is under a particular person, this is under a particular person, but when I get the max age 60, it is of what person? Actually it is not of any person. It is assigned to a variable, that is younger person. So I can assign it to a new variable like this as younger person, and you will have to use a single quote in the name younger person. Okay, so that is showing in the output here. Younger person value is 60. Same thing I will use for a mean, so I am not going to show you this. There are some aggregate functions. You see that count, sum, average are aggregate functions. Count returns count of the number of data values. Sum returns the sum of the data values. The average returns the average of data values. This is very easy. So I am going to show you the uses. You see that in this table, look at this table, you see that there are total students. How many students are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I want to know how many students are in this table. So this is very easy. You just call select count, and in the bracket you can just call the ID or any value, no problem. So all will be work in the case of count. So I just give the ID. That means, and similarly as total students, you will have to rename this from students. That means count means I am going to count the IDs, how many IDs are here. So that will be the total student number. And if you run this, you will see that total students, this has value 7, because here are 7 students. And here you can use face Ashok, face num, not a problem at all. Now I am going to the sum function. That means sum the age. If I want to get the count of ages from students, where, though I did not actually use where means where city of a particular city I am going to show it, but when where clause will come you will understand it more. But for now just think that where city equal to what, that means city equal to, here I give the value Khulna. So in the Khulna city I am going to do one thing, that is sum age. So all the age of Khulna city students I will get this, I will add the sum, that means 30 plus 25, that means 55, plus 60, that means 115. So this is the sum of ages. I give here the name sum age as sum of ages. I define this name here, and from students where this. So this query will output this data. There is another one, that is the average. So average is very simple. I am going to get the average. So all the students of Khulna who has the age, for example 30 plus 25 plus 60 divided by total 3, this will be average. So you can just call here select AVG bracket parenthesis age and then as this from students where is equal to this. So in this way you can get the average. In this way you can pull information from the database table using the PHP PDO.